up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be united of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Now make us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be united of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
I love your dance moves. Wow, very, very impressive. And thank you to the band for getting us going so well this morning. What a great way to start, right? Yeah, all right, very good. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. I'm Nancy Reynolds, a member and volunteer at the center. Happy to be sharing this beautiful, foggy Sunday service, well, Sunday morning and service with you. We're not having a foggy service. It's going to be a very clear service. If you're watching online on YouTube, welcome. We're happy you're with us as well. Wherever you're joining in from, wherever around the world, hello and welcome to you. The Center for Spiritual Living is a place where you can belong. When I first started coming to the center back in 2016, I knew I had found something special. No surprise, I was immediately pulled into the Sunday services with the incredible music and the messages that were so rich and dense with ideas I can take home and use in my life and explore further. I just loved it. And I soon discovered that the best way to be a part of this community was to get involved. And also that allowed me to deepen my spiritual practice at the same time. So I started taking classes and volunteering. And true confession, I actually dropped out of the first class I took. I did. Way back then, I was not quite ready to let people close to me. And the first time I volunteered, I was so self-conscious. I wanted to be invisible and hide while volunteering. But at the same time, I desperately wanted to be seen. It was very messy up here. But I kept going. I kept being involved and being more involved because everyone was so welcoming and happy that I kept showing up. And it completely transformed the way I experience community. If you would like to get more involved at our center and explore what's possible on your spiritual journey, I'd like to invite you to swing by our website. There you'll find out everything going on at the center. That's CSLSR.org. center.org. The work we do at the center is guided by our vision and mission. Will you please join me in speaking those aloud? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. You can find our global vision right on our website by clicking on the beautiful words, "We Are One," on the homepage. Here's a short part of the global vision. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with spirit and connection with each other. There are 5 foundational spiritual practices that we share here at the center to work toward this vision. Would you read those with me as well? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. Thank you. We use flowers at our center to send messages of love and gratitude to one another. Today we have 2 dedications, 2 beautiful arrangements here, and they are both for Christy Watkins. The first one is from Trish and Joan Watkins. And this dedication, they say, is to honor your brave walk through cancer. We remember your vibrant and determined life, your bright smile and welcoming nature. You gave everything and completed all that life asked of you. You are free. The second one is from the Center's Cancer Thrivers group, and it says, in memory of our beloved group member, Christy Watkins. We deeply miss her loving and joyful presence in our meetings, but we know she has transformed and transitioned to her next life, whole and healed. Blessings to all of you. We would now like to extend an extra warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If you are here for the first time, would you stand right where you are and as you're able, or simply raise your hand so we can find you? We'd like to bring you a welcome packet and a flower as a token of gratitude for being with us today. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. And if you are watching online for the very first time, would you leave us a comment so we know we're here? And welcome to you as well. I trust that somewhere within the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and the message from Reverend Russ is exactly what each of us needs for the next step of our spiritual journey. Again, welcome. Now let's enjoy this next song, which will lead us into a time of silent contemplation and prayer.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Oh, living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Oh, living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
There is only one life. That life is here right now, infinitely present, known by so many different names throughout the universe. It is the one source, it is the one power, it is the one creator and the ground of all being from which everything is rooted. It is every multidimensional being, sentient being, that itself created. And it is the flow of energy, divine energy, through each of us, the connector, connecting us as one with it and one with each other. It is whole, perfect, and complete no matter how it shows up. And as I am one with it, so is everyone in this sanctuary, on live stream, and beyond. Each of us have that divine spark within us, that connecting energy that creates community, that creates our individuated, expressive ways, so that each of us can go out as representations of that divine, showing the world What a wonderful place it is. I accept for this time in this service the light and life of community coming through each one of us. I know it will come through the message. It comes through the music. It comes through the prayer. It comes through the announcements. It comes through each of us as we just show up with other people around. And I give great thanks for this realization. And I am so grateful. And together, as I realize that this prayer is sent into the law as already answered, together we say, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Peggy Weber. I am a volunteer and a practitioner here at the center, and I simply love this community, and I'm welcoming everybody that's here for the first time. Thank you for coming. Would you please join me in reading the reading on the board behind me, and we'll read it together. I let the fire of infinite love blaze in my heart, and so it is.
Man, it hurts sometimes to live this life. Some days I'd rather run and hide. Maybe then the pain would hide as well. Maybe then I could protect myself. But who's gonna win? Is that really living? Oh, I wish I didn't know that the answer is no, nobody would win. 'Cause I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. Life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart again. Man, it hurts sometimes when I've done wrong. Some days I'd rather just move on. Maybe then I wouldn't have to cry. Maybe then I could protect my pride. But who's gonna win? Is that really loving? Oh, I wish I didn't know. But the answer is no, nobody would win. 'Cause I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. Life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart. I could close my mind and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth, that life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart again.
Morning. Can we give some more love to Chris and Brett and Nick and Fran? So, today's talk title is Hearts Ablaze. And to start us off talking about that, I'd like to talk about pharmaceutical ads. Now, have you ever noticed in those really quirky pharmaceutical ads, in fact, I don't think I've ever seen one that wasn't very strange and odd. I don't know if that's a theme, but I've noticed at the end of them is when you hear about all of the side effects, usually from a narrator who's speaking as fast as they possibly can. And you'll hear this phrase that the medicine that they're trying to sell, well, the medicine performed better than placebo in their clinical trials. Now, that's a good thing to know because, if I've got whatever it is that medicine's for, I want to know that the medicine's going to work, right? What they don't tell you, though, is that the placebo itself is also effective. Interesting. And here's the thing, it's not just effective, it's measurably effective. Because what research is showing is that there's something going on there. In fact, Dr. Ted Kaptchuk, who's a researcher at Harvard Medical School, he did a study on the placebo effect. And he did a trial with knee arthritis patients who their doctors recommended that they would get knee surgery to help them with the pain that they're feeling in their knees. And so they had two groups. One group got the surgery. Great. The other group had what looked like the surgery, but was in fact a fake surgery. Now, something really interesting happened here. It turns out that the group that received the fake surgery reported that their knee arthritis had been cured. Their pain was gone, and not a single thing had been done to their knees. Now, this curious outcome, well, it's believed that one of the reasons that this happened is because the group that had the fake surgery felt the same emotions of hope and peace and resolution that the surgical group felt. Their emotional expectation led to a demonstrable physical healing that they had. Their pain was gone. So that makes me wonder, could it be that feeling those positive emotions led to healing? And so that's what we're going to talk about today is that emotions have power. They have a great power. Now, our theme for this month is called Sticking the Landing, which, because we're in the last month of the year, means that after all of the themes that we've done throughout the year, now we get to try to land on our feet. And the best way that I know to do that is to be in the flow of life. And I've found that emotion is key. Having a really good relationship with my emotional, body is so powerful for helping me to stay in the flow of life. So emotions, for me, they're like the flavor of life. Now, there's always substance to life. In fact, I find that life is kind of like tofu. Now, on its own, go with me on this, on its own, plain tofu doesn't really have much of a flavor. It's kind of bland. What it does, though, is it acts like a little sponge because it tends to take on the flavors of everything that it's cooked with. So if you cook it with a sweet sauce, then it becomes sweet. If you fry it, then it gets all of the toasty flavor of the oil that you're frying it in. And that's how I found my life tends to work. Because there is this concreteness, this substance, this reality, but it's the emotions that make my life delicious. For me, life is at its best when it tastes like a really good salted caramel. Because it turns out that I like a little salt with my sweet. I find that the salt is what brings out that sweetness. Now, when I was a kid, like many kids, my emotions, oh, I didn't bring my tea up here. Oh, I'm good. I'll have some water instead. When I was a kid, my emotions flowed so easily and effortlessly. And I've noticed that in kids, that feelings are just there. They happen. It's either happiness or sadness, and it comes and it goes very quickly. So that was me. And then I grew up. Now, like many adults, part of that growing up meant that I learned that some of the emotions that I would feel were not okay for me to feel, especially not okay for me to share with anyone else. In fact, I learned that it really wasn't okay for me to be sad. So I learned techniques to bury any sadness that I felt, any anger that I felt, as deep down inside the well of my heart as I possibly could. And all of this was done in the hope that, well, if I just bury it down far enough, they'll disappear, and I won't have to feel them. I won't have to deal with these emotions. Now, something interesting happened when I did this. And this didn't happen all at once. It happened over the course of my life. But I noticed later on in my life that I couldn't feel any emotions. They'd become stunted. And yes, I wasn't feeling my sadness anymore, which I was happy to not have to feel that sadness, but I also couldn't find any joy in life. I couldn't find any flavor. And so the things that I used to love started to feel rote. They started to feel meaningless. Ultimately, I turned into Eeyore. You know, the stuffed donkey from Winnie the Pooh, whose signature phrase is, "Why bother?" Now, what's worse, because those unpleasant emotions didn't actually go away, no matter how far I stuffed them down, I found that I was less in control of my emotions, which is the opposite of what I was trying to have happen. And that's because those buried emotions, well, now they had to find more clever and creative and sometimes explosive ways to try and get my attention. So my life had become like plain tofu with a side of, well, next to it. So that brings me to the first idea that I want to share with you today, and that is the idea that I believe that we cannot truly engage in the flow of life if we're not in touch with our emotions. Now, why might that be? Well, here's some more research for you. One enlightening study that Dr. James Gross and his colleagues did might hold the answer, and what they found is that suppression of negative emotions, such as sadness or anger, led to increased physiological stress, higher heart rates, greater blood pressure, and that all of these physical outpicturings were signs of emotional distress. Moreover, suppression of these emotions resulted in decreased emotional clarity, which means that people were less able to accurately identify and label their feelings. All of this led to increased emotional dysregulation, which means that it became much harder for them to have control over their emotions. Now, all of this likely happened because the part of our brain that is responsible for processing our emotions can't really distinguish between the pleasant emotions and the unpleasant emotions. Okay, now I've got an idea here. That tells me that when we shut one emotion off, that means we're going to shut them all off, whether we want to or not. So if I'm shutting off sadness, I'm also shutting off my ability to feel happiness. If I'm shutting off anger, then I am going to have a hard time feeling joy. Now, the irony here is that this research also found that suppression of these emotions can actually increase the anxiety and the stress that we feel, which is kind of the opposite of the idea of suppressing them, right? So it's no surprise to me that when I suppressed my emotions, I couldn't find my way into the flow of life. I couldn't find the flavor in life because I don't know how to feel flow when I'm anxious and I'm stressed all the time. So that's what happened to me. And I shut myself down and I chose plain tofu. Now, what I've learned is that, well, let me go back here. I learned about flavor. I learned about the importance of flavor. Because when I fell into this way of being, when I fell into the tofu life, what I noticed is that flavor didn't feel safe to me anymore. I had this idea that I would have to endure the salt if I was going to have any sweetness. On some level, I knew that. And so I was anxious all the time. I was constantly looking over my shoulder, believing that everybody was going to judge me. And I remember when I was doing IT work for a paper company in Illinois. This is where you can insert all of your office jokes, because it was exactly like The Office. And I would be sitting in my cubicle doing my work, and I would often notice my boss walking into the office of his boss. And then my mind would start creating stories. One of those stories was that, they're plotting against me. Clearly, I've done something wrong in my job, and now they're going to fire me. And I'm going to lose my job, and then I'm going to have to find another job, and I'm going to lose my home, and all of this stuff. And wow, my mind was pretty creative with all of that because of the anxiety that I was feeling, because I was pushing all of my feelings down. All of this crazy making in my mind, it was because I was avoiding feeling unpleasant emotions. Burying those emotions kept me from being able to connect to the flow of life because I didn't know how to trust that life was for me. I didn't know how to trust my feelings. I didn't know to trust that my feelings weren't there to harm me, but they're actually there to help me. In fact, I couldn't trust that it was possible for the sweetness to coexist with the saltiness and the sourness and the bitterness. Now, despite these challenges I experienced from burying my emotions, I want to emphasize how grateful I am now that they are a vital part of me, of who I am as a human being, as a spiritual being, because I've noticed that emotions are part of the wholeness of life. In fact, I wouldn't give up my emotions, including the really sticky ones, the ones that I don't really enjoy feeling. I wouldn't give any of that up for all the wine in Sonoma County. I learned, though, that if I showed the wrong emotion, and this isn't the right lesson that I learned, by the way, but I learned that if I showed the wrong emotion, that I believe somehow I was going to offend the people that I loved and the people who loved me, maybe so much so that they were going to leave me. I found that the opposite actually happens, though. Because it turns out that the relationships that I had in my life where I was too afraid to be emotionally vulnerable, well, many of those ended. They ended because I didn't take the opportunity to connect through emotion. I ignored that opportunity to connect. And luckily, because I've come to understand my own emotions and how to access them better, I found that emotion has an incredible power to connect, to bring us together and to bring us into connection with life. So I'll share a story with you. A couple of weeks ago, I was up at the Lone Rock Trailhead parking lot at Lake Sonoma, and it was in the middle of the night. I was up there doing some astrophotography, and no, I don't have any more pretty pictures to share with you today. I'm sorry. I'll come soon. But I was setting all of my equipment up there. And all of a sudden, another gentleman comes by and introduces himself to me. And it turns out that he was there doing astrophotography too. And so we started talking about our shared passion. And it was really wonderful. And then we went over to this older gentleman who had this telescope that was probably 3 times the size of me. I mean, how he got it there, I have no idea, but it was massive. And he was letting people look through it because it was a very powerful telescope and we could see some really cool things. So it was a really interesting experience for me because throughout all of this, I actually felt very calm, very peaceful. And that's very different than I would have felt in the days when I was suppressing my emotions. The old me would have felt that, why is this guy bothering me? I would have felt a little irritated. I would have felt a little defensive, like, oh, does he want something from me? And then I would think, oh boy, is he judging me? Am I doing astrophotography wrong? What's going on here? I didn't feel any of that though. In fact, I felt this joy that, wow, I got to meet this other person. This is so cool. He's doing the same thing that I'm doing. This is really wonderful. And that feeling stuck with me for that whole night. In fact, I remember towards the end of the night, I was sitting in my camp chair just looking up at the stars, and I felt this really amazing feeling of peace. It was wonderful. And I credit all of that to the work that I've done to embrace my emotions, including the unpleasant ones. And that helps me know that emotions help us to relate to one another. And the reason I think that they help us to relate to one another is because emotions are honest. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm excited, I'm excited. The reason for all of that might be, something that's not grounded in reality, but the actual feeling, the feeling's real. Feelings and emotions transcend language. I find it so easy to tell if somebody is happy or if they're sad. And in fact, I bet that if I showed you photos of football players at the end of a football game, just by the expression on their face, you'd be able to tell if they won or they lost that game. All of this is because I found emotions, they're ancient. They've been with us since we've been human beings. They're so baked into our physical being that we experience emotions as a physical response in our body. And because we all tend to experience the same emotions, just maybe in different ways, we can relate through those emotions. It's a shared experience. So for example, when I'm happy, my body feels relaxed and light, and I feel this tingling warmth in my chest, like my heart wants to jump out and hug the world. It can feel as though my whole body is open and ready to respond to all of the amazing things that are possible in life. In fact, do you know how dogs get when you tell them that it's time for their walk? And their body turns into this jumbling form of fluff and wiggles and hair running all around. Well, that's kind of how it is when I feel happy. And have you ever noticed that it's hard for you to not also be excited when that dog is wiggling and ready to go? It's contagious. We feel that together. In fact, for me, that kind of connection, it feels like the opposite of plain tofu. It feels like flavor. And something fascinating that I've noticed with the expression of emotions is that each time I allow myself to really feel them, that includes the whole spectrum, when I'm done feeling them, I actually feel more connected to life. I can think of times when I've had really just waterworks, cries, and at the end of that, I actually felt more close to spirit than I did before. Because it's almost like spirit brings its love in that moment when I really feel that feeling. And that's a second important lesson that I want to share with you that I've learned about emotions, that when we can allow ourselves to feel the entire spectrum of emotion, we can really experience the love that's at the very root of our being. that love reminds us of the connection, of our connection, and the idea that we're always connected to the infinite, to spirit, to creation. And here's an example of how that can show up. In World War II, Polish social worker Irina Sendler risked her life to send Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto into safe homes and orphanages and convents. And she'd smuggle them out in bags and boxes, even in the trunks of cars. She also compiled a list of all of the children's real names because she was giving them a fake identity when she did this, and the location that they were hidden so that when the war was over, their families and their parents might be able to find them. Eventually, Irina was arrested by the Gestapo because they suspected her of what she was doing, and she was imprisoned. And she was tortured because they were trying to get her to reveal the location of this list of names, a list that at that point she had buried so that she could keep the children safe. Throughout all of this ordeal, not once did she give up the location of that list. I can't imagine what she was going through. In fact, she didn't even give up any of the names of the people who had helped her. And it turns out that her courage, her compassion, her resiliency, all that must have come from this deep love within her, that led to over 2,500 Jewish children having a chance at life that they wouldn't have had without her. Her compassion, her love, connected her to life in a way that quite literally saved lives. Now, I believe that every emotion, no matter where it is on the spectrum, comes from love. Because for me, love is that force that reminds me that I'm always connected to life. In fact, it's the force that I believe is responsible for connection. And even though I may not feel that connection, I know it's there. In fact, I believe sadness comes from love because sadness helps me to let go of the pain that might be separating me from life. It helps me understand where that pain might be coming from so that I can bring healing to it. Anger is even a part of love because it tells me when somebody might have violated my boundaries, or maybe I've violated my own boundaries. And then I can find my way back to peace. I can find my way back to what feels safe. Even fear is a part of love. Because believe it or not, it's just there to help keep me safe, just like any loving parent would do with their child. So it took me years of avoiding my feelings to learn the power of emotions to connect me to the flow of life. And one of the things that I did that helped me to find my way back to being able to feel my emotions was recognizing that fact that they always have a physical response in the body. They always show up as a feeling in our bodies. And that's the last important thing that I want to share today. When we can focus our awareness upon the physical sensations of an emotion, then we can actually follow them to the emotion to directly experience it. And this process, it strengthened my ability to feel and process some stuck emotions, some strong emotions, because by choosing to focus my attention on the part of my body that is physically telling me something's going on, I can hear the message that that emotion's trying to share with me. At the end of the day, that's all these emotions are trying to do. They're trying to tell us something. They're trying to get our attention. And when I was first doing this work to dig myself out of this emotionally suppressed hole that I was in, this tofu life, well, what I would do is I would go into a meditative state. And then I would use my awareness to observe whatever part of my body was trying to get my attention. How that would show up is that if there was sadness, sometimes I would feel like tension in my gut, or I'd feel this tightness in my chest, almost as though there was something that was trying to get out. Stress and anxiety would show up as tension in my shoulders and back. Happiness would show up for me as this feeling of like energy and tingling throughout my body. And when I noticed those physical sensations, I learned that I could follow them back to the emotion, almost like a breadcrumb trail. Sometimes when I did that, I would also notice what the cause of the emotion was. Because sometimes I might think that I was feeling angry because of what somebody did, but really I was feeling angry because of something that happened in my childhood. And that person just reminded me of it. So there's a great power in that. What I found is that when I could tune into that physical feeling and just sit with it, man, I could just listen. I could listen to what the feeling was telling me, what the emotion was telling me. And something really beautiful happened when I did that. Not only did I learn where that emotion was coming from, well, I also noticed that the emotion itself relaxed and it released, almost as though it was this really committed messenger that was just waiting for me to listen to its message before it would be able to go on its way. In fact, I even noticed that I could share my love with that emotion if it was asking for healing. Now, you may not be as numb as I was. I hope not. But that doesn't mean that you can't also explore your emotions and build a more trusting relationship with them like I did. In fact, try it this week. Take some time out of your day, and you only need a few minutes for this, and scan your body for emotions from head to toes. And notice anywhere where you might feel tension or discomfort, or even positive things. If you're feeling happy, that's good to recognize too. Notice the physical feeling of it, and then just observe it. You don't have to fix anything if you might think that it needs to be fixed. Just sit with that feeling and feel it. Once you do, you might notice that a thought comes up. You might feel some insight from the act of feeling that emotion. And just listen to it if that happens. Listen to what it's telling you. And let that emotion take you where it wants you to go. So here's a summary of what we talked about today. Every single emotion across the entire spectrum is a vital part of life, even the unpleasant ones. And when we avoid feeling them, we end up suppressing all of our emotions, and we take the flavor out of life. When we can learn to feel our emotions, though, then we can let them connect us, reconnect us to life by feeling life. They can connect us also to one another through our shared compassion as well as our shared sorrow. And the last thing is that because emotions express through our physical bodies, we can use our bodies to find our way back to feeling them and to understanding the message that they want to share with us. When we do that, we can build more trust within ourselves, and we can honor all of the hard work that our emotions are doing for us. So I'm going to leave you today with the lyrics that you heard from that Daniel Namad song that I feel really sum up the incredible power of emotions. I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. Life means stepping back in. I'm going to open my heart again. Let's take that into prayer. How good it is to know that feeling, that emotion, that the power of emotion is right here. This infinite creative power, this spirit that is the very ground of all being, it creates through the strength of its love for all of creation. It is the very essence of emotion. And so I know that love is here, that wholeness is here, that peace is here. And because I know this, I know that I must be a part of that each and every one of us must be a part of that love, of that wholeness, of that peace. We are the joy of this infinite divine one in human form. So knowing this, I know that we are always connected to one another and connected to this divine spirit that is our source. We are it, endlessly forming new connections, connections of love, connections of hope, connections of peace. I know that through these connections that are rooted in emotion, that we are able to go deeper in our realization of this perfect spirit. And so I call that forth. I invite our hearts to open just a little bit more to feel all of the feelings that are within us, knowing that those feelings are not there to harm us, but rather they are there to help us to know something vitally important, and that is that we are always connected to this infinite love. And so I'm grateful to know this, grateful for these emotions, and grateful for this perfect connection. With my gratitude, I release this word into that divine law of mine that is always, always, always saying, yes, my beloveds, yes. And I invite us all to end this prayer together by saying, and so it is. And so I invite you to take another deep breath, breathing in. Let out a big sigh. And just feel what's going on in your body right now. So we use this pause and we use our breath to help us to transition into our time of spiritual circulation together. And when I talk about emotions, I'm really grateful for that feeling of gratitude, because that's also an emotion, and that's what I feel every time that I see how each of you is supporting this community, whether it's with your finances or your volunteering or just from being here and sharing your love with us. That's something that fills me with so much gratitude. And gratitude, we teach, is a part of the practice of spiritual circulation because it opens us up to the flow of life. And so I'm grateful to share that with you. Now, if you wish to share your gratitude in the form of financial donation today, we do have a number of ways that you can do that. And the first way is to go on our website, cslsr.org/donate, and that will tell you all kinds of online ways that you can share your finances to help support our center. We also have text to give, and you can send it a text message and do it over that, and that's very fast and easy. I want to share something too that we haven't talked about in a while, but if you shop at Oliver's, we have a form that you can fill out at our information desk that will sign you up for the Oliver's community card. And what that is a little barcode that you can scan every time that you check out your groceries at Oliver, and a portion of that sale then comes back to support our center. And it's no small thing. It actually means that we receive tens of thousands of dollars from Oliver's just from you getting your groceries. So if you haven't done that, consider doing that too, because I find it a very easy way to support the center without even trying. It's great. So we will also pass the baskets today, and I invite our ushers to stand and hold the space as we enter into our offering ritual. So call to mind the feeling of gratitude, whatever that gratitude is for, and allow it to flow forth and infuse the gifts that you share with this community. And then repeat after me, I bless my gifts. I send them forth to heal and prosper. They do wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Okay, wow. It's a lot to soak in. But let's take a look at what's going on around here, and we'll add some more things to soak in and get on our calendars. The days are getting shorter, and the sun is dipping below that horizon earlier and earlier. Seems like it might be trying to hide its light. But we know that the true light lives within our hearts, and it shines brighter every time we come together in community. And it's the wonder of that light that we will be sharing at our winter solstice service coming up on Wednesday, December 18th, when we gather in our social hall around our ornament-adorned solstice tree. Do you know, last year was the first time I attended the winter solstice service. I had no idea what to expect, and the surprises just kept unfolding throughout the service with the thoughtful messages and the soft candlelight. It was so beautiful. And interestingly, we expected about 80 people, and more than 135 showed up. And that just brought this richness to the room. And then the biggest surprise was right outside the social hall doors, there was a fire in a burning bowl ceremony where we got to let go of something. I don't even remember what, so I think it must have worked. So I invite you all to join us on Wednesday, December 18th, 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Now, about that solstice tree, well, it's not going to decorate itself, so we are. So I want to invite you next Sunday, December 15th, between the two services, we will have a decorating, holiday, ornament-making party thing. I said that really well, didn't I? It's a thing. Yeah, so right after this service, I hope you'll stick around. You'll have your chance to create your very own holiday masterpiece ornament and place it right on the tree, and then it will be ready for that winter solstice service. And we'll provide all of the supplies. You just need to come and let your inner artist have some fun. Now, I have a lot of favorite things here at the center, but this next one is probably my for real favorite. Take a moment with me now to imagine the warm glow of hundreds of candles at the front of our sanctuary. Each candle carries love and intention and is placed by you as you are embraced by the music of the center choir and band. You can feel the compassion coming from all those around you as you place your candle into the sea of light. Yeah, that's our Christmas Eve candle lighting service coming up on Tuesday, December 24th. There'll be 2 services. You can come to either. They'll be the same, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on the 24th. And if you can't be here on person, I hope you'll join us online. The 6 p.m. service will be live streamed, so you can watch it from home as it's happening, or you can revisit the recording and watch and enjoy the music and the message after at any time at your convenience. So whether you join us in person or online, I hope this evening, Christmas Eve, will inspire you with your hopes and intentions for the coming year. The next morning is Christmas morning, the 25th, and we will have a service at 10 a.m. on Zoom that will be led by Reverend Tara Steele. And you can come as you are to that one in your favorite Christmas cozy pajamas with a cup of hot tea or hot chocolate or hot toddy, whatever hot drink you'd like to bring along. Hope you'll join us for that. All right, that's all the solstice and Christmas news for now. Let's look ahead to the new year, and we'll do that by talking about your vision for 2025. Building a clear vision of where you're going is the first step of any journey, and that vision can guide us and be our anchor through every twist and turn. It can even open us up to possibilities we have not yet imagined. So I want to invite you to join Reverend Russ for his Vision Your Life 2025 workshop, which is coming up on Sunday, January 5th at 1 p.m. And you'll have the chance to turn your vision into a colorful vision board. You can sign up on our website. And one more thing. Whether you're coming or not, if you have any old magazines hanging around your home, we would love to collect those so that we can add those to everyone's vision boards. So we'll be collecting those at the information desk through the month of December. All right, now let's bring it back to today with a reminder that today is the day for practitioner Betty Smith's workshop, The Spark and Magic of Meditation. Why meditation? Because a strong meditation practice, she says, is like having a dedicated, loving friend. Betty is an experienced meditation teacher, and she will guide you through the ins and outs of creating your own meditation practice that, here's the key point, works for you. And if you're already a regular meditator, she's going to guide you to take it to the next level. The workshop is at 1 p.m. today. It's in Wagoner Hall, in case you don't know where that is. It's on the other side of the stage. You exit the building, use the exterior door to get to Wagoner, 1 p.m. You can sign up online, or you can just show up and join the meditation workshop. The final 2 items from me are 2 things that connect us to the greater community outside the walls of our center. The first one, each year around this time, we collect toiletries to share with people who are living with mental illness or who have special needs. Now, I don't know about you, when I travel, I collect those little shampoo and body wash bottles and little soaps, and then I end up with this drawer full of these things at home that I never use. Does anybody else do that? Yeah, no? Okay, we need to travel more. All right, so if you have any of those are what we're looking for. They are perfect for this. You can also bring other toiletries like deodorant, disposable razors, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and drop them off in the social hall when you're here on Sundays through the entire month of December. And then we will deliver those to the people who need them. And these small gifts, they really make a difference. The second one, in just a moment, we're going to share a video from our December nonprofit partner, School on Wheels. This wonderful organization provides one-on-one tutoring for students in grades kindergarten through 12th grade who are living in shelters, in motels, in vehicles, in group homes, and on the streets in 6 counties in Southern California. In getting to know School on Wheels, I learned that 1 in every 20 children in California does not have a home. So this organization meets them where they are, with either online or in-person tutoring. And they train volunteers to tutor and match them to students. So because of their location in Southern California, we don't have a representative here today, but they did send us some materials. So I invite you to stop by in the social hall to learn more about them. And if you would like to be an online tutor and change the lives of one of these children, they are taking contact information so we can get you connected for that. All right, so now let's enjoy their video.
Hi, my name is Ezran. I am 9-year-old and I'm in 4th grade. In my family, there's my dad, my mom, my brother, and me. My brother is 5-year-old and his name is Myron. In the gym where I sleep, it's a little bit noisy. They turn the light on to make people safe, to let them watch their steps in the night. My School on Wheels tutor makes me feel safe, and they help me learn math, English, Spanish, drawing, reading, and fraction.
Hi, my name is Odette. I'm 8 years old and I'm in 2nd grade.
Hi, my name is Dorothy and I'm in 4th grade and I'm 10.
My name is Angela and my favorite food is pizza. I would go to college when I'm old enough to do my jobs or do my own work. I would own a business at some place, be a dancer, singer, or
Thank you, School on Wheels, for helping me graduate high school. I couldn't have done it without you. I am now at college and studying business. Thanks again.
Hi, my name is Leilani and I just want to say thank you to School on Wheels and my tutor Catherine for all the support they gave me throughout high school. Without School on Wheels, I would have not graduated high school and be where I am at now in college as a first-year generation student. Thank you, School on Wheels.
What incredible work that they're doing. Thank you, School on Wheels, if you're watching online, for all of the good work that you do. I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to support. Now, if you're having a hard time, if you cried yourself to sleep last night, if you'd like to have spiritual support, we are here for you. If you're here in person, you can go back and talk to Karen in the corner there, and she will direct you to one of our prayer practitioners who will pray with you. We also have prayer available online on Zoom, and that link should be on your screen now. So please don't go home in need of support. We're here to support you. I invite you all now to stand as you are able and know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and inspired by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and we say and we think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the closing music and have a fabulous week.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy.